Morning everyone. Day 30. Woke up to a very chilly morning, sprinkling, got everything wet. So right now I packed down, everything is damp, wet. I will have to air things out and let them dry before I go to bed tonight. So I have a couple choices, a couple shelters to choose from. I got a 6 mile hike, which I may do. My ankle's acting up again because of that long hike yesterday. I was feeling good until then, or I can try to push it to a 12. I think today, I think the best thing to do is just, because things are wet, go to the 6 mile shelter and stop there. So we'll see when I get there. Maybe it's just a simple hike today, so who knows. Talk to you later. So within the first mile of leaving the shelter, I think I had my pack off like 3 times. What a pain. Obviously they did not have a privy at the shelter. Doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to make a stay at a shelter, at least have a privy, right? So I had to dig a cat hole. And then the second time is I found some water dripping out of a side of a hill, and I just, there is a water droplet, a solid water droplet about a mile and a half ahead of me, but I didn't get water last night because they do have water at the shelter, but it's a 1/4 mile down the hill, straight down and straight up. Okay, when I got into camp, my ankle was so sore, I just had to get off it. So there was no way that I could get that water source. Now, I did go to bed well hydrated. I had a 1.5 liters, which I use for cooking, and then I drink the rest. So I saved about 8 ounces this morning, which I downed right before I took off. So no problem as far as dehydration is concerned. But again, it's just those nuisances on the trail that you think, oh, it's no big deal, I got all the time in the world. But they become nuisances, they really do. Talk to you later. So my rain ankle, it is bothering me already again today. So I don't know. I know if I went to a doctor, he's just gonna say, get off it for 3 days and take ibuprofen 3 times a day or something similar to that. And that's probably the best advice. But I wrestle with my mind and body every day. My mind's saying, oh, you can do the 12 miles today, you started early. And my body's saying, well, no, you can't. So I got to break it up all the time and compromise. So here's my thought as of right now, but as plans change. So I'm thinking I'm going to stop at the 6 mile whatever shelter that is. My stuff is damp from the rain this morning. I need to let it dry out anyway. This will give my ankle a rest, and if I feel good the next day, there's no reason I can't do a 12-mile day, right? So as of right now, that's the plan. But as you know, plan changes. So, or plans change. Trail's pretty decent right now, just leaf covered. Not a lot of rocks, but you do have to watch the roots. The roots are just as bad because they're smaller in diameter, and they have more impact on the arch of your foot, the tendon down there. So you do have to even use caution when crossing the roots. So it was definitely too long of a hike yesterday, and the type of terrain that I had to travel on when you're nursing an ankle. So now I don't know, they do have some tent sites on the Far Out app. although my permit states that I have to sleep in a shelter, that's what I agreed to, that's what I signed off on. Why are those tent sites here? I mean, are we allowed to use those too? If I can, you know, if the nearest shelter is 12 miles and I can only walk 6, and yet there's a tent site that's maybe a quarter mile away, can I use that? I guess I don't really know the rules, or if that's a gray area. I certainly don't want to go out and just break the rules. But if I have an emergency situation where I just can't travel, you know, what do I do, right? So, I don't know. But as you can see the roots, and they're almost like knife edge, right? They're probably like a knife, like a dull knife, and they just tear at that tendon at the bottom of your feet. So all right, I'm going up. I'm gonna start huffing and puffing again, so I'll put you away for now. I'll bring you out if any views come about. So as you saw by the sign, I just took a pic of. I have 3.2 miles to the shelter of the first shelter that I was looking at to stop, which would put me about approximately 6 miles. That means I left the shelter this morning about 8 o'clock. That means I only traveled about 3 miles, and it's 11 o'clock already, so 3 hours. So that tells me I'm traveling about a mile an hour. So not fast. I know at home on a road, I always figured I could walk 2 miles an hour. So those, you can throw those calculations away right now. So anyways, I'll take you along. We'll see you when you get there. So one thing that this trail is teaching me, it's actually humbling me, is I'm not Superman anymore. Okay? It takes everything I have to sometimes just travel a mile or climb one of these mountains. This is a young man's journey, and there's a lot of older people, a lot older than I am, out here doing it. So I'm just amazed. But I think one of the things you really got to ask yourself, if this is something you want to do you really want to postpone it? Or do you really want to do it now? You can always get another job later. It's just a thought. So I got to be approaching the shelter here quickly. I just had a water stream on the side of the hill. I filled up all my bottles. I think the plan's going to be, I'm going to stop. As soon as, I haven't eaten lunch yet. It's noon, and you know, I can get in there, I can set my tent up, I can get it dry. I might even set up a place in the shelter for me, get all my stuff dry, and then keep it in the shelter, and that way I don't have to deal with anything tomorrow. This way I can, my bottles are full. I don't need water, so I can have a good supper, a really good lunch once I get my tent set up, and just relax. So right now that's sounding good to me. But then again, it may change once I get there. So, talk later. So as you can see from the sign, I have 0.2 miles to Spence Shelter. And that's where I'm going to cut it off. The next shelter is 6 something miles. It's after 1 o'clock already, so I don't think, that'll put me in probably around 7, just like last night. And you're so much in a rush because you need to cook your dinner before dark and get your get your food bag hung and stuff. So I think this is the best route for me, and I'll take some pics when I get there. So I'm at the Spence Field Shelter. I am going to spend the night here. I have not set up my tent and I have not eaten lunch yet, but if you look down there, they got a privy, and supposedly it's one of the nicest privies on trail. So looking forward to that. But this is home sweet home tonight. I made 6 miles. The next shelter is 6 miles. Maybe we can do a possibly 12-mile day today, but really just giving my ankle a break. It needs it. So let me show you what it looks like inside. Got a nice fireplace, double decker, and that's me. I'll spread it out a little bit so we can let other people in when they come, but right now I'm claiming that spot. So anyways, I'm going to make some lunch, set the tent up first, then make some lunch, and that way I'll repack down the tent. It'll be dry, so life is good. For supper tonight, beef stroganoff. Now the beef stroganoff meal didn't have any meat in it, so what I like to do is I take one of those small jerky bags and just pour those in. So that's what you see in there in the corner. So we'll get some water heated up. I'll show you how it goes. Now we'll just let that cook 10 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes. Let's pull her out and see what we have. Oh yeah, looks good. See if I can show you. You can see in there. All we have left is give her a taste test. Oh yeah, I'll enjoy this tonight. So with that, I'm going to close day 30. I didn't get very far. I got 6 miles to the shelter that I wanted to go to. I'm just going to give my foot a break, and that's what I've been doing pretty much all day. So hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow. The next shelter is 6 miles away. Once we get there, we'll evaluate where I'm at, and if I think I can push it to the next one, I will certainly try. So. But anyways, I'm going to enjoy tonight. I'm actually going to sleep in the shelter. I tore my tent down already. I got everything all dried out. So it feels like rain coming. It's not in the forecast, but you can feel it. So this might be the right call. So with that, I'm closing day 30. 6 miles today. Looking forward to day 31. We'll see everybody then. Good night.